Interestingly, I've got a sort of webinar thing to do tonight, and I got my old blazer out, and it fits actually. And I, you know, I'm not going to lie to anybody. There is enormous, I don't know, it's pride, it's affection. You know, you pull on the jacket and you go, it still fits, and that's, you know, that, and it, you know, it's a slightly different badge, obviously, to the one that's there now, but it represents the same values and the same. The fun of it, I can assure you, when you're on tour, yes, it's challenging. Fun is fun. Now that is an interesting, you know, it's dashed hard work.
No, absolutely.
You know, and people used to say, I bet you had a great night after the second test. No, you don't. You just go, it's relief, Ewan. It's just relief. And, you know, on a job well done. And, and for this Lions party, it's a huge task. You know, some people think we go in as favourites. I can't see that. You really cannot. I think we have a huge task ahead of us. You know, obviously, it starts on Saturday against Japan.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's named his side yet. I'd be surprised if Warren has, but I would hope there's you know, as many Scots who are fit, and they all should be fit if they're going in 2 weeks' time, we'll be on the park. It'd be wonderful to see, you know, 7 or 8 Scots on the park. Partly because it's Murrayfield and all the rest, but it also just binds in the Scottish nation. Some people felt we didn't get a fair representation in the past because we didn't have a coach at the table and all the rest. I would counter that by saying we weren't good enough to have the representation, you know, and it's you know, it's as cold as that. Warren Gatland is, I believe, the most successful Lions coach ever. Why? Because he picks players in form. He knows how to close out games. He knows how to win games. I think, you know, I mean, as usual, the Scottish nation, it's this, that's that, it's the next thing. No, we weren't good enough. It's as simple as that. This year, I can't remember ever a Scottish side winning in Paris and Twickenham. Not ever. I don't think it's ever been done until this year. So what it proved is we can go away from home and win. Now you're going to South Africa. So why would you not take a bigger representation of Scots? You know, so I counterbalance that. You know, the last time I think we had 9 in '89. I think we had 9 Scots in '89. There was Peter, Dodds, Gavin, Scott, Craig, and Gary, and then there was David Soule, JJ, Derek White, and myself. There was 9, and a Scottish coach. So I mean, that was the last time there was a really big representation. But I would think this year it's on merit, Ewan. You know? Africa haven't played together either.
No,
they've not played as a nation for 15 months or 60 months. So I think we could say honours even in terms of, it's a level playing field. So there's no crowd. I mean, sure, it was wonderful when there was 30,000 Lions supporters, but there was also 40,000 Australians or Kiwis or
South Africans.
Exactly. So, and for South Africa, so it is a very level playing field. And I think the only, my concern is their physicality. You see them for sale, you see them right through the Premiership. They are so physical that, we have to match that. We absolutely have to match that. And if we do up front, we'll do well. I was surprised Sam Underhill wasn't taken. I'm sure he'll still be in the frame if there's an injury or whatever. But the other huge loss before the tour even got started was Launchbury. I saw him as being, frankly, in my, we have a sort of family, name your first test team. And there's about 30 of us put in sides. and I had Launchbury in mind because I just see it as this massive unit of a man that, you know, so I was surprised. Well, I was surprised about Underhill. I was disappointed for Launchbury. I'm not surprised about Courtney Laws. Yeah. I think if I was in the trenches, I'd have Courtney there.
Yeah, you want him to just be smashing boys.
Oh, he's a tough cookie. Oh, my great friend Dean Richards reckons he's the best in England. You know, consistently. You know, he says he's a fantastic player. So, and once again, Warren Gatland. There's no surprise in that. You know, who would you take? You take the guys that are in form. You take the guys that you know can do a job. And
there's definitely a couple of players in there that have credit in the bank, so to speak. Correct. You know, they've done the job for him before. He knows them, he trusts them. Like someone like Courtney, fair enough, he's been injured. I think he was the 37th man, you know, the final hours. That was, I don't know if he is. In my opinion, I think it would have been Courtney Laws because he was injured. They're like, is he fit? He's fit. Oh, we're adding him to the squad.
Okay, we're having him. You know, I don't know how anybody could install the Lions as favourites. Similarly, I don't know how anybody could install South Africa as favourites. I mean, I really see it as a very even series. Backup players will be keeping very fit, and it's only 10 hours flight. There's no time zones, so if there's an issue, you know, if there is, and there will be injuries, and let's hope nothing too serious or catastrophic, but certainly the players are in backup. You know, so but it is extraordinary physical. I mean, you see what happens in you know, traditionally on Lions tours, the midweek teams were challenged by lesser opposition. They were challenged by the lads who hadn't the skills, or perhaps they just didn't have the skill set, but they certainly had the ambition. And you know, midweek matches, you know, in New Zealand, you know, they're sort of legendary about Canterbury and Waikato, and you know, it's unforgiving. It's unforgiving, and it's the same in South Africa, except for they don't have as many matches, you know, so that counterbalances it. But it's a long tour for these lads because they gather in Jersey, they isolate in Jersey, then they come up to Murrayfield, then they head off, and then when they come back, they've got, I think, another 10 days on the other end when they come back. So it becomes a 10-week tour, you know. It's actually, it takes, and you know, when you're on tour and you've played your last match, you just want to get home and get back to sort of normal life. And so you come back and actually you're stuck in a hotel for, you know, so it's a huge sacrifice for these players, their families and their clubs, you know. It's a big, big sacrifice, you know, but it's worth it. And, you know, I'm very pleased for Alan Wynne-Jones because that's the ultimate, you know, and I watched him. There's a punch up in the training ground, and I thought, well, he's still got, you know,
still got that edge to him, and he's still wanting to compete even in training.
I know, even in training, and so, you know, I also saw him as the tour captain, 36 or 37. It's a huge ask, you know, and you know, I mean, he's the guy for there's no doubt about it. He's the guy for the job.